What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Touched by the Devil. This is a crazy exploration into Napoleon Hill's work, Outwitting the Devil, where the negative half of the atom talks about its tricks and how it subverts our ability to control our own thoughts, puts us into the habit of drifting, and ultimately overtakes our life so that we don't have free will anymore, but instead we're being dictated to by this energy and drifting down a path and having less and less and less control over our life. This is not a situation that we want to find ourselves in. We want to use the power of choice. And, I'm actually putting together a group, and we're doing the hashtag Get Coached thing. That's tongue in cheek, but it's going to be amazing. I have a lot of special guests that are going to talk to us. We're going to get really settled on our purpose. We're not only going to discover what it is, we're going to implement it with very modern tools. This is not, your regular coaching program, which is why, it's hashtag Get Coached. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not doing the carrot and the stick thing, guys. We're not going to be like, well, what did you avoid today? And you got to stay accountable. No, we're building a synergistic group of people who are going to literally exponentially rocket launch into maybe the ether. I don't know. We're going to find out where the Mayans went. It's going to be amazing. Check it out. There's a link in the description if you're interested. Set up a call ASAP, and we will get you enrolled. It starts on Monday. So, the devil, he talks about the second principle that he can influence you into drifting, and he says he does it through you not mastering yourself. Now, there's three parts to this that he specifically names, and I gotta be honest, these are really difficult, especially in our times right now, especially with the world that we currently inhabit and live in and the options that we have. Napoleon Hill was way ahead of his time here. The first thing that he talks about with the devil is food and our addiction to food and how dangerous food can be when we consume the wrong combinations of food and overeat, okay? Man, it's tough. It's really tough. I have a problem with this myself. I've gone vegan a couple of times. I've gone vegetarian. I've tried a lot of different ways of eating. And it's really difficult. Food is incredibly addictive. I've been able to kick the habit of marijuana and alcohol and other things, but food is something that is really, really, really tough. But the devil says that a big part of it is because our body is so unclean, and our septic system in particular is so gross that if we were able to look at it, then we wouldn't be able to face ourselves in the mirror. He says that the sewers of New York City smell sweet in comparison to our own sewage system, and that we really need to clean it out. He even talks about enemas and stuff, and I have a couple of friends who are like into that. Like, they have enema parties. I don't know what they're doing over there. It's weird. But seriously, cleaning that part of us out is something that the devil does talk about. I want to say here that we don't have a lot of options in the United States of America for food that's not unhealthy, that's treated, well. And it's something that I think gets dismissed a lot, but it's a struggle, and it's a real struggle. So, I want to say, if you're struggling with this, be compassionate toward yourself. This is one of those things that I think that even though it's difficult, it's still something that it's more important what comes out of your mouth than what goes in it. And this is something that is a discipline that takes time, time to sort of master. And there are some really cool ideas as far as ways to start supplementing your habits. Buying specifically like certain brands of food that are not genetically modified, for instance, and replacing certain snacks with those, right? And going down that direction, watching your water intake, what kind of water are you taking in? And there are little things as well. Doing some cleanses. I did a Ayurvedic cleanse a couple of years ago, and I found that to be incredibly helpful. And that definitely cleaned out, my insides a little bit. I'm not going to go too much into detail here, but eat as healthy as you can. Like I said, food is so addictive, and I've tried to do fruit diet or vegan diet and cut these things out. It's incredibly difficult, but do the best you can and just do a little bit of improvement. The second way that the devil talks about mastery of self is through sex. He says that sex is not inherently bad. We have the stigma about it that is mostly because of repression in this puritanical culture. If we look outside and see what the animals are doing, they're definitely doing the birds and the bees, right? So there's nothing specifically wrong with sex itself. It's just our relationship to it is very unhealthy. And through lust and through overindulging in sex, even the strongest, most successful people, as we've seen, can be induced to drifting. It's something that we need to be diligent about and understand, because our sexual energy, like they teach in the East, is very sacred. It can be used creatively. It can be used for charm. He says that if you oversex yourself, it takes the sparkle out of your eye. He talks about the nervous system. He talks about the health benefits of basically using sex properly, right? And so I won't go into a tantra spiel here, but there's a lot of other alternative ways that we can approach sex that will be a lot more healthy for us, for our body, and for our energy. That energy, that chi, it really is creative. And I've had some really amazing times at times by using that energy force in my own creative works and endeavors. So a healthier relationship to sex, understanding that sexual energy can be used or transmuted into something creative, something that can be sort of channeled in a more healthy way. We can actually use that energy and create amazing things. So just understanding that, and maybe, asking some questions about our relationship to sex. Now, the third thing that the devil talks about as far as mastery over self is expressing loosely organized thoughts. Now, remember earlier when I said it's more important what comes out of your mouth than what goes in it? Well, the devil agrees. He went on a tirade about eating, but he still says this is one of the most dangerous habits, because this habit of basically spending time uselessly and rattling on about your opinions and what you think when you don't have the facts, when you don't have the information, is incredibly dangerous. I might point you guys to a specific social networking app. Maybe it's called Twitter, to maybe understand this idea a little bit more thoroughly. It's parrots. Isn't it funny that the symbol for Twitter is a bird that tweets, and it just says the same opinion over and over again. And right now, there's probably people watching this video like, yeah, that's right. And they probably just tweeted some garbage that they heard from some other secondhand source and haven't actually done the research, that's necessary to fulfill the requirements of the trivium and form a knowledgeable opinion about whatever thing that they're just launching, one-liners at. So, just diarrhea of the mouth, talking, trying to be impressive with your ability to speak. It's definitely something that, or speaking about something that you don't know or pretending to know. Like, we've all done it. I'm not hating here. Like, I'm the one in front of a camera right now, and I get the irony here. I'm not unaware of that. But just like talking about something that you don't really know and expressing opinions that are not well informed. It's incredibly dangerous. It's a habit that attracts other habits that are basically useless. Gossip, writing letters, or trolling on the internet. Elon Musk. I mean, are you really working 80 hours a week? You can troll from Mars, pal. These types of habits are not helping us at all. And it's something that I have to keep in mind, you know. I just started eating dinner, and then I'm listening to this book and I'm like, oh, should I really be eating dinner? Maybe I should be having an enema party. It's disgusting. I know, it's gross. Don't think about it. No images here. But those three things are ways that we can really begin to focus on control over ourself, mastery over ourself, through how we are expressing our relationship to sex, through how we are expressing our relationship to food, and how we are communicating our opinions, especially if they aren't based on, facts. So keeping our mouth shut, because also other people will listen to your ideas when you just rattle on and on and on. I may or may not have been in the barbershop this week, and I may or may not have heard some barber talking about all this stuff about, how, people start these businesses and how they declare bankruptcy and they run this up and then they sell the business. And he's just talking and talking and talking about all this stuff that he's heard secondhand as if he's an expert on it. And it doesn't make you look any smarter. It just doesn't. And it's actually kind of disappointing, really, when someone is giving all this advice that's unsolicited. The worst kind of advice is advice we didn't ask for. So let's just try to keep that in mind, pretending to know something or pretending to have opinions about something or having opinions about something that are not based on any fact. This is a disease of memes and ideologically just being passed around like a game of diarrhea telephone. And we see it day in and day out. So I say insulate yourself from, social media. I'm probably going to just delete Twitter. I'm just going to delete it because it's not helping me at all. And I'm one of the ones who has a fake account to write jokes on as a comedian. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna 86 that and just focus on what I can do, what I can bring, and especially focusing on what I can bring to this Get Coached program. If it's something that you're interested in, or if you feel compelled to find out more about it, there's a link in the description. Hit that, set up a call with me, and do it as soon as you can, because we are launching next week and we are going to literally lift off of this planet. Yeah, we'll see you at Mars, Elon Musk. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate your time. See you next time.